I'm here at Farmhouse Book Company's future headquarters, and we're designing a permaculture plan for my client, and I'm going to walk you through it. So first off, the house is mainly adobe, and it's quite interesting because we walked through during the summer and it stayed quite cool. And so we really like the house design already. It was built in the 1940s. And we are hoping to create it to where it'll be self-reliant, even though it has to be connected in order to be insured. Now, so we just recently installed some new roofing, some metal roofing, to where we can harvest the rainwater to be able to collect as much water as we can, since we're in a desert and arid climate. We're technically in zone 8B, I believe, and it's just really hot during the summers, 118 degrees Fahrenheit down to like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, or sometimes in 10 degrees. So we're hoping to gather all this data for my client, so that way we can be able to balance between a city lot to transform it into a self-reliant permaculture plan. But let me show you a little bit more about the landscape in general. So right now we have some saplings of fruit trees, and also this tree right here is a walnut that has been here when they built the house, I believe. And what's interesting, as you can tell from here, is that we got the main road a little bit away from the property, but the landscape is actually going down to the southeast corner of the property. So that's all downhill. So we're basically on the highest point, which is quite interesting. So we're hoping to gather as much water as we can to that corner, and then use solar or wind power, since it also gets windy, especially in the springtime, to kind of pump that water back up to the house or wherever we need it to have. Right now, the size of the lot is an acre. So what we're going to, we're going to collect as much water as we can. In order to do that, we're going to create swells that are going across the property to kind of slow it down and not be at a whole rush to the end of the property. We're going to, my client wants a small flock of sheep, some chickens, ducks, rabbits, and I believe that's it for the animals. She also wants, for as far as trees and plants, she wants to be able to have grain such as oats, wheat, barley, things like that, and also olive trees and raspberries, maybe blackberries, as well as some apples, peaches, the nice good variety of fruit trees. Oh, part of the animals I forgot to mention is she wants fish. So we're going to create a aquaculture at the end of the property, so that way all the water will direct itself to the pond and particularly into this corner, since we noticed by a leak or some of the neighbors' irrigation going into the property that was going to this corner. Also, at the end of the property, we want to do some portable housing for people to be invited to stay and also enjoy the permaculture plan, and also participate in some of the activities in this plan. Where the sheep are going to live is here in this shed, and as you can tell, it's not in the best condition, but we are going to transform it into a usable barn and milking station, so that way we can be able to take care of the sheep in particular. The rabbits are going to be in cages in the first stage, but ultimately we want the ducks and the rabbits to be free range. The reason why we're not having the chickens free range is in particular that they will eat the plants too much in particular spots, and so we want to balance out what they eat and scratch. It's going to be flooded irrigation, and hence why we're going to do particular swales designs to where it will slow it down to where it can be absorbed in the soil instead of being washed down and exit the property and take our topsoil on top of that. As we are doing these stages, that we will be able to teach the client how she can maintain it, and also be able to teach the permaculture plan to her followers. Notice that there's multiple portable sheds, well, of a sort. This one and another one to store particular tools to be able to maintain the property in certain stages. So this includes pruning or chop and drops to maintain the soil, also to clean the pens, gather it to make compost, dispersing compost, and also maybe some tool repair. So over here on this property, we found the entrance of flood irrigation. Now in this town, they have seasonal flood irrigation from March to October. Okay, so the state of the soil right now is more of alkaline, hard, compact, and so what the goal is that we're going to try to revive it through more of the plants, and also ground covering, and also with compost, so that way we can slowly revive it, and that will also be in a very active state. Another thing that we're hoping to do, since it's going to be technically using the city's power, we're also going to put in the design a backup using solar panels or wind turbines, so that way she can be able to have electricity without using the city power.